friends, it's Fumblin, and today we're gonna be here with Tier List Tuesdays, but this time it's gonna be a serious tier list. We're doing a full Garfield patch tier list. We're not gonna take into account any of the glitches that are soon to be fixed, such as, for example, Leonardo's up air is not quite working as intended. We're not gonna take any of that, but we're gonna list every character from what we think is the most powerful, S tier, to the least powerful, D tier. And we're gonna start with Spongebob, as per usual. And it's a good start because I think Spongebob is definitely S tier. I think Spongebob does pretty much everything very well. He's an all-arounder, but he's an all-arounder that does everything. He does everything, and he does everything really well. He's got projectiles, he's got combo game, he's got kill power, he's got edge guard, he's got recovery. He has almost no weaknesses. Though he's not super cheesy, he doesn't have anything that is impossible to beat. So I'm not gonna say that he's the best character in the game, but he's definitely up there. Next up is Patrick Star. Now Patrick is solid. Patrick has been changed in the last few patches. His strong dash attack has gotten much better. Both dash attacks are incredibly good and combo into very potent kill moves. But he's still very, very slow. His attack speed and move speed are terrible. But he makes up for it with the strong kill power and strong kill confirms. His recovery is buffed, but it's still subpar. Maybe it's about average, but we could say it's a weakness. Either way, his speed makes him not the best, but the amount of power that he has and consistency that he has makes him a threat in the meta. Now let's go to Sandy Cheeks. I think Sandy is lacking in a lot of areas. She's got some very strong things. I think Lasso is incredible. It's her biggest kill confirm and spacing tool, and it's really hard to deal with, but it's also predictable. And with predictability in a high level, even if it's a good enough move to spam, you're not gonna be able to do it forever. And her two main moves are gonna be Lasso and Nair Strong. If she's not doing that, she doesn't have a lot. Her tilts are okay. Mostly her neutral light is gonna be her main tool in neutral. Her strong attacks in the air and on the ground are all pretty bad except for the Nair Strong. Like I said, she has a couple really good moves, but nothing in particular that's super special. I'd say the only thing that's like really good on Sandy is her recovery. Her recovery is insane. You can change the trajectory. You can change when you actually go left and right. You can actually go up and then down. It's kind of like a Pikachu recovery where you have this second part of the recovery that you can activate and go into. And it's really strong, mostly because it's got 2 hitboxes. You can cancel out of it if you hit. And the big thing, it has 0 in lag when you touch the ground. So if you recover on stage, you're almost always safe. But all in all, she doesn't have a ton that is just super good, super oppressive. So I'm gonna have to put her at the kind of low end of the spectrum because a lot of these characters we're gonna get to are pretty good. And speaking of pretty good characters, let's go right into Aang. Aang is a top 5 character in my book and still is, even after throw changes. Throw changes really hurt Aang because a lot of Aangs have a really hard time getting kill confirms and killing early. Even though their edge guarding is pretty good, if they can't get you into that situation, they end up not killing you until they can finally hit a raw air strong or a raw dash attack neutral strong at a high percent. Otherwise, they really rack up a lot of damage, but they can't quite kill you very early. However, Aang's combo game is ridiculous. Probably the best combo game in the game. If you get hit, you're likely taking 70%. And his recovery is by far the best recovery in the game. I don't think it's even a contender in my book. Aang's recovery is insane. And his offstage game, because of that, is also really good. So his edge guarding is pretty good. But he doesn't have a lot of situations that he's going to be able to put you in to kill you at 0%. He can't just throw you off and do 6 light dares. His light dares are DIable, and his throws don't lead into light dares that well. But I did mention that throws really are nerfed, and they really hurt Aang, because Aang, with the fastest dash speed in the game, could walk off stage and down throw you and kill you at sub 100% if you weren't mashing well, which is huge. But now a down throw doesn't really kill. It's not really a good kill option, so Aang is kind of stuck having to find his own kills, and it can be pretty difficult. So he's strong, he's super fast with an excellent combo game and recovery, but doesn't have everything that he needs to be S tier. So we're putting him at the upper A tier here. Speaking of upper A tier, let's go to D tier. Toph is not that particularly good at anything. She's pretty strong, not the best, but she's pretty strong at just using her strongs on the ground. Her strongs can't be rock, paper, scissors when they're on the ground, so she never loses them. They're relatively safe on shield, and she can space with them pretty well, and they kill pretty well. But the big issue is that that's all she has. That is quite literally all she has. She has a pretty decent recovery. I will give her that. She could do jump, dash, up special, and then use her down special to stand on, which gives her another jump and mix up. And her projectile is not bad. She can charge up her rock, and it's pretty nice when it's fully charged, but it does take time. Everything else she has a weakness. Every aerial is bad. Her neutral aerial is alright. Her neutral or mid light on the ground is okay, but nothing spectacular outside of the strongs, and that is just not enough to carry her in this fast-paced, combo-heavy, zero-to-death meta. It's just not enough. Next up, we got the last Avatar character, but not the last Airbender. We have Korra. Now, Korra is a lot better than she was in the previous patches. She was known as being one of the worst characters, but they fixed her up pretty well, and she's actually relatively viable right now. Her specials all got buffed. They're all pretty nice and have good hits done, good shields done on the neutral special. Her combo game is relatively lackluster, but it's not terrible. It's enough to get her through because she hits really hard. She hits so hard, and the speed of some of her strongs are actually incredibly fast. If you don't know, her up strong comes out in 6 frames. The rest of her strongs are relatively average, if not a little slow, but the fact that she has nice and quick options to kill and pretty safe moves on shield, she ends up being pretty solid. Her down special is crazy. It has, like, I've heard 45 frames of hit stun. If you get hit by that off stage, you're dead. And her dash attacks are both very good right now. They both lead into a strong down air, which can kill very early if it's sent off stage. So she does have that early kill potential, which is awesome. Her light down air is also pretty good for just setting up combos because it has that like anti-gravity thing. So she's solid. I don't think she's spectacular. I don't think that she's struggling anymore. I think she's pretty good where she is. B is like that kind of tier. And yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about it. So we're going to move on to Lincoln. Now, Lincoln is almost there. Lincoln is pretty nice in neutral. His normals are really good. They're really fast. They're relatively disjointed. And his specials are really good for spacing, pretty good for edge guarding. He's got a nice projectile. It's really fast, can combo into stuff. The water gun is incredible. Even though it only does 1 damage and no hits done, it does push them away. It's an awesome edge guarding tool. It's a good neutral tool you can cancel out of at any point once the hitbox comes out. But the things that he lacks in are going to be his recovery and combo game in general, kill confirms. A lot of it requires DI in, and he only has a couple options. Pretty much his aerial, neutral, light is going to be his big combo tool, but if you don't DI in, he can't do almost anything. He's just chipping away at you. His neutral is very, very good. His lights are incredible, but he does no damage. And he doesn't have the combos, so it could be pretty hard for him. His dash attacks are also not very good. Dash attacks are pretty important in this game because they do cancel into everything. So Like I said, excellent neutral, but pretty bad in almost everything else. His down air is decent for edge guarding, but relatively speaking, he's pretty bad in most other cases, but he does have the really good and solid annoying neutral. Lucy Loud. I have put Lucy in S tier this patch, in my top 3. I think she is incredible. I think that the big reason for that is going to be that vampire mode got, this is going to sound weird, but vampire mode got nerfed so that the jump height increase is no longer there. And along the same time, Lucy players started really discovering that vampire mode was not worth it because you would die really early because your weight decreases when you're in your stance modes, or your scare modes is what they call them. So a lot of Lucy started playing in neutral mode, and in neutral mode, it's been really discovered that throw combos are very consistent, more consistent than they were in vampire mode, to the point to where now with the throw changes, it's actually buffed her combo game. If you do a neutral throw off stage at pretty much any percent from 0 to 100 and you have decent reaction time, you can get a kill out of it by chaining into teleport light dares. It is so consistent, it is so hard to deal with. It's not easy, it requires good reaction time, and her movement is one of the big reasons why she's top tier, and her movement is also not very easy. So she's not a simple character by any means, but she is incredible at what she does. Her juggles are average, her kill power is average, not the best, but her confirms are out of this world. Her movement is the best in the game. Her edge guarding is likely the best in the game as well. She can, even though her recovery is not that amazing, it goes really high. She's got tons of mix-ups to teleport. I have to put her S tier. Just the fact that she can kill you at 0 out of grab is enough for that. So let's go with Leonardo now. Leonardo has been known to be the best character in the game for quite a while, but I'm going to say that he's kind of got a little more counterplay now with the shoulder hitboxes being taken out on his swords. Not so good. Also, the throws being nerfed, they may have affected him a little bit, but he can still definitely kill you at 0% at the ledge if you don't DI properly, which is huge for him. But with the more shield-heavy play that everybody is starting to use, Leonardo is not the only top-tier option that you can pick if you want to play a defensive playstyle. Defensive playstyle being very strong, people were thinking, yeah, he's the best. He doesn't have to approach, and he can run away and shield. It's really good. But other characters are starting to find a lot of use out of shielding and defensive play. I don't think Leonardo is the top of the list when it comes to defensive play anymore. He's definitely up there, but he's not the number one. And because of that, I'm going to have to drop him down to what I have as my top 5. Michelangelo, Leonardo's brother, is going to be right down here at the bottom of C tier. Now, the reason why I have him low, the Mikey patch that we had at the beginning of the game where he could just infinite you is no longer here. So Mikey actually has a hard time comboing now. He doesn't edgeguard very well. He can edgeguard. He can definitely edgeguard, but he doesn't do it super consistently because of the nature of his down air. His down air is kind of like a Pikachu tail spike in Melee, where, if you know what I'm talking about, it sends you backwards if he hits the right hitbox. It's really hard to hit. It's pretty niche. It's not consistent. It's not usually going to kill you. His nairs are very good. Very, very good neutral tool, but they don't quite kill you if it hits anymore. He has to do a lot of walling out, and he just doesn't simply do it as well as a lot of the other characters in this game. His disjoints are very minor, very small, and his kill power is really good if you hit the right move, but a lot of his kill moves are incredibly slow, and he doesn't have consistent ways to hit him. And it's super easy to edgeguard him as well, so I'm going to put him low for those reasons. And next up, the last Ninja Turtle character. We have to talk about this character, friends. We have April freaking Neil. Freaking Jeez is what we should call her. Oh my god. Is because she is everything a character needs. She isn't as all-arounder heavy as like Spongebob, for instance, but she still has enough to put her as the best in the game. She has things that SpongeBob wishes he could have. A grab combo that does 50%. Kill confirms that kill at 70. Edge guards that are just free, not even having to choose a direction, just straight down onto them. They can't do anything about it. A recovery that is fully actionable out of a projectile that counters all other projectiles. She has just about everything. And if she catches you in a tech chase, you're taking 60% or you're dead. She does so much. She does so much. And it's hard to explain all in one go. Just trust me when I say that April has the hitboxes, has the kill power, has the speed, has the recover. She has almost everything that she could possibly need. It's hard to imagine a world where she is better. However, they did nerf her recently. Her hitboxes on her strong nair and her mid light is significantly worse, but even with that, she still has the speed, she still has the hitboxes that she needs, and I don't think that she's slowing down anytime soon. She's definitely top 2, well, definitely top 3. My top 3 are very interchangeable. Lucy could end up being the best with her throw combo. SpongeBob could just end up being all around more consistent, but right now I think April has the most easy time in the high level right now, so I'm gonna put her as my number 1 personally. Just does too much damage and she's too quick, I'm telling you. Ren and Stimpy, now I have them at B tier right now. It's a little above Korra. We're gonna go ahead and fix that up. Now, Ren and Stimpy has a really good move, and I'm sure you know what I'm gonna say. Ren and Stimpy's light dare is incredible. It does so much damage, it kills, it has a ridiculous hitbox. Even though the hitbox was nerfed, it's still massive, and honestly, like, they don't have a lot of strengths outside of that. They hit hard, they survive for a while, but their recovery is not the best. Their juggles outside of the light dare, like over and over again, is not that good. Their edge guarding is okay, but you kind of have to set it up because you have to kind of hit with Ren's up air foot spikes from behind, so you have to use a strafe button for that, and it can be pretty challenging. But even difficulty aside, I think that Ren and Stimpy, just with the light dare, they can carry themselves with that. Dares, even light dares, beat any mid attacks, meaning that if you're having a long-lasting nair that you're coming down with, such as PTM, who we're going to talk about pretty soon, if you have a long-lasting nair like PTM, your light dare is just going to beat it. It's going to 100% beat it because of the way the rock, paper, scissors worked. If you don't know, rock, paper, scissors in this game with the strong attacks also applies to light attacks. So I have to mention that. Light dares are excellent for juggling, excellent for killing. And I know Ren and Stimpy players might be mad that all I'm talking about is light dare, but I'm telling you, it carries the hell out of this character. This character otherwise is relatively mediocre, but I have to put them pretty decently in the middle here because of it. Speaking in the middle, we're going to also put PTM, Powdered Toastman, in the middle because his light nair is really good. It can help him get out of the air really easily. It kills. It's random a little bit, but it's not too bad. And his dash speed is incredible. And I can't not talk about grab release, shine, up strong, killing at 0% depending on the situation. It is utterly the most powerful combo in the game. Even though it is a 50-50, it can definitely be your comeback factor if you're playing PTM, and which is huge in a 3 or even in a 4 stock meta. It can just completely ruin somebody's day. So definitely good for those reasons. However, I think that PTM still struggles a lot. He's easy combo food unless he can get a nair in, like I said. His recovery is not that good. It's very predictable. It goes far, but that's it. And his attacks are just relatively slow, so he's gonna still be mid even though he has this crazy X Factor power move. It's not enough to put him as top tier. It just gives him a little bit of cheese, a little bit tasty cheese that he needs to be good. And then we're gonna have Zim. I think Zim is excellent in this patch. I want to talk about 2 things specifically that have changed about Zim. Gur now in this patch explodes slower so that the second hit hits it doesn't overlap the first hit, so you always hit like 2 hits, which means that Gur is doing like 20% damage every time. Also means that it's more shield pressure that you're adding, more hits done, so Zim can follow up easier. And yeah, Gur is so much more of a threat in this patch. Gur does have some movement quirks that are going to be fixed in a later patch. Gur's movement is just not working as intended. I'm not going to consider that. I'm going to consider old Gur movement because that's what is intended. And yeah, Gur is crazy. I also want to talk about Light Nair. Light Nair recently got changed from 2 frames to 6 frames, which matches PTM's Nair, which I already said is crazy good at coming out of the air, dropping out of the air. You just have this huge, long-lasting hitbox. It can juggle people super well. It gets you out of the air. It's a nice get-off-me tool, which is fantastic for a zoner. So I have to put Zim at the top of B because of this. And also, I can't get away without talking about the up special being a lot faster. They're going to increase the range again. It got decreased in this patch, but they've already said they're going to increase the range again. So it goes a lot faster, and it ledge snaps super easily. So the recovery is no longer a massive weakness for Zim, so I can't put them low. I have to put them here in B tier. And CatDog is going to be the one character at the top of B tier, a little higher than Zim. I think CatDog is fantastic. Their strong attacks hit so hard and last so long, and they're so big that you can honestly get away with playing CatDog by just spamming Nair strong and neutral strong. You can get away with just spamming those 2 moves. It is fantastic. Their projectiles are also really good if you think you can run away. No, they can do a boomerang bone if you're trying to approach, or they can switch to CatDog, or they can switch to Cat and they can throw a yarn ball, which travels across stage, forces you to approach. It's pretty good, their projectiles. Their edge guarding is not bad. Light Dare is incredible. It's incredible for setting up tech chases, it's incredible for edge guarding. Their juggles are pretty good. The main weaknesses is that they're light, that they're pretty predictable, and that at the end of the day, if you know what a CatDog wants to go for, you can dodge it. It's not too hard not to get hit by CatDog, but regardless, they are a solid 9th place in my tier list. I actually need to also mention that up throw up strong is a 50-50 and it can kill you at 40%. So definitely look out for that one. That one's a huge comeback factor. Let's go with Reptar here. Reptar is down here with Toph. I do think Reptar is bottom in the D tier because Reptar just struggles so much to juggle opponents, struggles so much to edge guard, so much to survive even though they're heavy. They get juggled so hard. Their recovery is predictable. It doesn't go far horizontally. So what's the good thing about Reptar? Why is he above Toph? Now, the reason why I would say is because he gets so much damage so quickly. He is the best tech chasing character in the game. His down special has super armor and hits really hard and really far. It covers a whole platform. And he can also use it in the air to try to get out of a juggle situation, which it doesn't always work, but it's a nice option that he really needs. So his down special is insane. His dash attacks are also really good. They go across stage really quickly, and they can kill you at 0 if you get caught at the ledge. So look out for that. But relatively speaking, he's just not too good in any other way outside of the damage racking. He does have a hard time getting kills. His kill confirms are inconsistent, and he doesn't have a lot of them. Nigel Thornberry. We gotta talk about Nigel. I always put Nigel around the same spot. I still think he's high tier. I think Nigel is still slept on even by the majority of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl players. He has an insane light up air. It's kind of like Aang's Nair or Spongebob Nair, where it just hits you and hits you and hits you, and you can't do anything about it. You could DI in, he chases you. You could DI out, he chases you. And he's probably going to do 60% every time he hits you, which is absurd. But setting that up can be pretty hard because it is predictable that he's going to do it, but it's so fast and so difficult to avoid. His main weaknesses is that he doesn't have a lot of range, and he's still pretty slow. Some of his moves, outside of some of his lights, are very hard to hit, but his kill confirms when he can hit you are so good. He's got grab, release, snap, dash attack, snap, up air, snap. He's got a lot. He's gonna kill you if he hits you, or he's gonna do a lot of damage, but hitting you is gonna be the hard part. His recovery did get buffed which makes his recovery at least average. It's not bad anymore. It's definitely not bad. I never really thought it was bad, but it's definitely potentially above average now. And he's got really good momentum canceling, so don't sleep on him if he's off stage. You could get hit and he's going to make it back. And I want to talk about Helga so bad, everybody. Helga is top tier in this patch. Not top. Maybe not. Top is like top 3. She is definitely high tier, though. Helga, with the slingshot buff, is absolutely absurd, okay? That projectile, I always complained for days and days about Spongebob having the best projectile for no reason. His bubble is so good. But Helga is like, nah. And her projectile got buffed to oblivion. Its speed is like twice what it was, and its range is like infinite now. It doesn't disappear at the end of the stage anymore. So it is so good, and if you hit it, it sends them inwards, so you can set up into one of her very powerful strong attacks that would otherwise be really difficult to land. She can also up throw up strong. It's kind of hard to hit, but she can do it. So her kill power is excellent as long as you're doing your zoning well. Her dash attacks are both incredible. She's got 2 of the best dash attacks in the game, I think. Her edge guarding is really good. Her down strong slapped in front of you, and her down light hits right below her. So it's pretty hard to get away from Helga. The only thing that she really struggles in is comboing. Her combo game outside of the slingshot 1-2 ping pongs is pretty bad. She doesn't really get percent on you pretty well. She has to run away. She has to get space. She has to tack on percent here and there. She doesn't really just hit you, you're dead. Hit you, you're 20%. You're taking 70%. She doesn't do that. So that's why she's kind of lower. But she's got excellent tools to get you off of her, excellent tools to kill, and excellent tools at zoning. In my opinion, best zoner in the game right now. Next up, guess who? He's a Phantom. Danny Phantom. Now, Danny Phantom is, like I've always told people, like I've always done on my tier list, he is the dead center of the tier list. Again, I think that he is kind of what every character should probably strive to be. If they're higher than him, they might need some slight nerfs. If they're lower than him, they might need some slight buffs. He is 11th out of 21 characters. You can't get any more close to center than that. And he's also pretty much an all-arounder, except for he is super light, so he doesn't live very long, but he has incredible attack speed. He's got every light aerial, I believe, is frame 4, and his light grounds are not far behind. So he is super fast, but super light. And other than that, I'd say he's a relatively average character. Decent kill confirms, decent recovery. You friends might be surprised by that, but his up special, when it latches on the edge, has 0 frames of vulnerability, meaning that as soon as he starts his teleport, if you don't grab ledge and you can't stop it, he's getting back. He's got full invulnerability. So his recovery is not too bad, even though it is relatively predictable. So, like I said, he's relatively an all-arounder, just he has that one big strength of being fast and one big weakness of being light, but he is exactly what I want to see out of the character balance of this game. Right dead center. Oblina. Now, Oblina got buffed this patch, but I'm still putting her pretty low because I've started to realize that her other weaknesses are pretty devastating. I didn't realize when she first got nerfed just how bad and how hard it would be to actually get kill confirms and to get damage. But with the DI changes, she is really unable to get a lot of juggles going. If you start DIing her, you're just going to get out of her combos for free. Her hitboxes are really small. Her kill power is not spectacular, even though she does have decent combos into her air strongs. They're not killing you super early. And her edge guarding is pretty good, but she doesn't really have a lot of decent setups into it. She just has to kind of catch you raw off stage with her light down airs. And she's really, really light as well. But there's a couple things that are really redeeming for her. She's really fast. She's really small. And the big thing that got buffed is her sludge. Her sludge is incredible. It can no longer be reflected, and it can't be destroyed with light attacks. Meaning that the only way to get rid of it is by running up and before it hits the ground, shielding it. If you don't, and it hits the ground, it's staying there for the full duration, which makes her excellent at getting stage control, excellent at ledge trapping, even excellent at recovering high if she's able to throw her sludge in front of her. So she's not to be underestimated, but I don't think she's low, but I would say that she's kind of at the lower end of mid-tier. And finally, we got your boy, CatDog, and everybody is going to be probably clicking on this video to see where I put CatDog, and I actually might have a hot take here, but CatDog is not good. I don't know if that's a hot take. I mean, other top players are starting to realize this too, I think, but CatDog is just lacking in so many areas, and I'm going to explain why best I can. A lot of his moves are meant to be used for zoning projectiles running away, but he's not very good at that because his projectiles don't really get a lot of percent when they do hit. They don't really combo into anything when they do hit, and they're pretty easy to predict and avoid, or just hit and then destroy. So you're gonna get chip damage here and there, but it can't be your main playstyle with Garfield. You can't play Garfield just as a full zoner. If you try, I mean, he's gonna be D tier either way, but I think that the best way to play Garfield is actually trying to get in your opponent's face and try to force approaches, but still try to pressure them. His aerials are all pretty good. His up light is disjointed. His down light hits multiple times. Really hard to hit. Really hard to punish on shield. His light nair covers his entire body. All these moves combo pretty well. But his strong attacks are pretty lackluster. They're all really slow, and only a few of them are actually really powerful. He does have, however, good kill confirms, although they do rely on DIN, such the same as kind of Link and Loud. If they DIN on any of your light grounded moves, it combos into your up strong in the air, which is pretty good. I mean, it doesn't kill super early, but it's not bad at all. It's good that he has that, as well as having decent pressure and shield presence. I mean, this sounds like not too bad of a character so far, but another big thing that really makes him struggle is that he is the only character in the game, as far as I can tell while looking at the character list, that doesn't have a light down air that spikes. And that is a big problem, because that is kind of what's spelling the meta right now, is getting those early kills. You're either playing defensively and shielding all the time, or you're trying to get early light dare kills. And he can't do that. His dare does not spike. His strong dare does, but his strong dare is awfully small and not as easy to hit as you might think. It has a ton of in lag, and if you miss it, I mean, you're not making it back to stage very easily because his recovery is also bad. So really, his on-stage presence is good. I would say it's even maybe above average, but not having early kills and not being able to zone the way that a zoner should makes him relatively bad. And like I said before, if you're DIing his moves correctly, you're not going to die to him. He can't kill you. He relies on you DIing in so he can get his aerial up strong. If he can't get that, he's pretty much screwed. So I hope that the meta develops a little bit more to make him better, because I think that he's really fun and his playstyle is really cool, and it's much needed for this game. It's pretty healthy to have, since we only have a few characters that rely on projectiles. Garfield being one, but it's just not great, right? So I hope that that changes someday. I hope that soon in the future there's a pro playing Garfield that really proves me wrong. But so far, out of all the Garfields I've seen, I'm actually the best one that I've played in Dittos, and I was struggling really hard to play against anybody who wasn't playing the Ditto against me. So you guys let me know what your thoughts are on Garfield. If you want to know my thoughts on Garfield, my full, unfiltered thoughts on Garfield, competitively and just casually, look at my last video on YouTube. I posted everything, disclosed everything I think about him. So that's going to be a more detailed explanation on him. But for now, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next week for a really fun tier list. Bye, friends!